most talented Gulshan Devaiah.
Yes.
We welcome you with the Door magazine. How was the shoot that you had with the Door magazine today? How was your experience?
Most talented actor had most amazing time. It was really fun. We got to improvise a lot.
Right.
बेल्ट वो नहीं आ रहा था तो उसे वो स्कार्फ बांध के सब ऐसे इम्प्रोव्स किए थे हमने. अच्छा था.
I hope you liked it.
I know from the front side everything was looking good. From the back side everything was like singed.
All.
There's some photo shoots are.
Yeah, they're all about improvisations and everything. So, starting with the interview, Gulshan, when did you realize that you wanted to get into acting? Like, when did it all start for you?
From a really young age, I think 7, 8 years old when I was. And I grew up in an environment, I grew up in the south, but then my parents really used to sing a lot of Hindi film songs at home, and they used to even perform also. And my mother and my father both used to perform on stage. They were in a public sector company, Bharat Electronics, so they were very sort of cultural programs and both activity high thi unki. So I grew up in that environment, and I also I was encouraged to do that. I went to convent school where the teachers realized that this guy likes to perform. They put me on stage. So from a young age I would do plays and skits and sketches and even singing songs and dance. Sab kuch karta tha main, sports, all of those things. But I fell in love with Hindi cinema. Because I think I grew up in an environment where कान में वही पड़ता था, गाने वही है. हम लोग दूसरी अन्य भाषाओं की फिल्में भी देखते थे, साउथ की हो या किसी और. मैं तो सब कुछ देखता था. मैं तो असमिया फिल्म, पंजाबी फिल्म, सब कुछ टीवी पे जो आता था मैं देखता था. So but I felt my special place for Hindi cinema. I think I fell in love. There was something more. There's some kind of pan-Indianness to it, I thought, and I fell in love with Hindi cinema, and I started dreaming like any other stupid kid would have dreams, no? Hero banega and all that.
But you came a long way, I must say. Hero, the childhood dream.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, sometimes it's difficult to believe, I must confess, it's still, I'm a working actor, but when I look back to the time when I first moved to this city, it just seems like, I don't know how things happened, really. Of course, I was lucky, I got the right opportunities with good people. Plus, I also I worked as well. But it's still sometimes it's I have to pinch myself. And if I go back to when I was 7, 8 years old or 10 years old, then so it's there was no way I knew back then that I would do all the things that I'm doing right now.
But I must say you must be really happy.
But this is what it is, no? Your dreams coming true, this is what it means, this is what it looks like, dreams coming true. And I'm very happy, and I'm still dreaming.
I must say. So, you started acting comparatively late.
Yeah.
And do you sometimes wonder of having started earlier?
I do wonder if I had started when I was 21, 22 or something like that. I moved to Mumbai when I was 30. But no, I think I wasn't ready. If I had moved to Mumbai or tried to be a professional actor at that age, I don't think I had ready. My craft was not ready, my confidence levels were not there. I needed to sort of learn things, prepare myself to be able to be a professional actor. And even if I was 27 or 28, I don't think I would have been ready. So I think it was the right time for me. Perhaps I do see, I was working with Radhika Madan on Mat Kudaya. She was 21 at that point of time. She was ready at 21. I wasn't at 21, yeah.
So you started at 30, I believe.
Yeah.
And till now you've done plenty of work, and we must say you're an amazing actor. I would say that because I've seen almost.
But I look young for my age, no?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's very true.
A lot of drugs and plastic surgery. We also get special discount if you're like Bollywood Mafia. If you're part of Bollywood Mafia, you get special discount. You get 25% discount on plastic surgeries, not on drugs. Drugs you have to pay full price.
That's sad.
Nowadays, यार पहले मिलता था discount, लेकिन आजकल थोड़ा.
Earlier, you've talked about watching movies of Dharmendra and Devanand, and as an observer, and now as an actor, how would you say that the industry has changed?
Well, they were making films even before I was born. And I fell in love with cinema, watching those kind of films from the 50s and 60s and all that. And it was a very romantic period. Things were very romanticized at that point of time. And Mr. Dharmendra went on to do action films also. Correct. And become an action icon after that. The sensibilities definitely has changed quite a bit. I wasn't part of that era, so I only got to watch films much later. But then anybody can make out that the kind of stories they told and the technology and the sensibilities of filmmakers has definitely changed. Actors' approach to acting has definitely changed. It was a bit stylized. Everybody had their own style.
Correct.
So I think it's a bit more based in reality now. And so I think I think Mr. Dharmendra still works. He still does. And I think you can see a difference in his approach also as to how his performances have changed and all that. But it was a very influential period for me because those films really made me fall in love. And Shashi Kapoor also I really liked from when I was young. I used to really like him, yeah, because he was nice looking and he had a sweet smile.
Yeah, he surely did. So, given that you have a very imaginative mind and evidenced by your acting methodology and finding Duryodhana. Right. What are the chances of you writing or directing a movie?
The chances are there. It's moderate chances. I definitely have some ideas, and I had briefly worked on them also. And some people also, I don't know if they were serious or not. Some really prominent people kind of nudged me in the review, we'll help you and all that. So I haven't taken it up seriously because right now I'm having too much fun acting. And I think at some point, see, the thing is, I'm an interpreter of text. You have text and I interpret that, and then that's my thing. I'm not a storyteller.
Right.
But when that urge comes there in me, then I feel that it'll come organically, or I don't want to force it out of me. I'll probably tell a story, but it's complicated for me also because I want to do things a certain way and push the boundaries, and I don't think right now I'm capable of doing that. There's lots for me to learn also about making movies, cinema and directing and all that. So if I am ever ready, it's not maybe I will never make films. Maybe I'll make one and it'll be a masterpiece. Who knows? I mean, at least I'll try to make it a masterpiece.
Correct. Somewhere down the line, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I think it's definitely going to be an action film.
Okay.
With
So
lots
very
of
into
guns.
action, guns.
Lots of guns, and I will not use any Jimmy Jib or Steadicam. I'll do an action film the good old-fashioned boring way, camera on stick, which is a challenge. That's what I'm saying. I'm really limiting my options also, but that's the challenge. Maybe out of that will come something new.
A masterpiece.
A masterpiece.
Right. So, you have worked in some really good thriller and horror movies, I would say. Why do you think these genres have not quite made it that far in the Indian film industry?
I don't know if it's true that they have not made it quite far. I think generally overall cinema in India, be it in any language, was predominantly dominated by love stories.
Correct.
And I think there was a reason for that. And people really connected because everything was larger than life. It was romantic and romanticized also. And the whole thing, beautiful people falling in love and trees and that. So somehow they become exaggerated versions of yourself or your imagination and things like that. And people really enjoyed that. Maybe we are not very expressive in our real lives as to how much we love the people around us, or our partners, or husbands, or wives, or children. So I think, वो प्यार की कमी, I think वो महसूस होती थी लोगों को. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I'm just speculating right now. But I think then slowly I think people started saying new kinds of stories, and genre films started to see more development. So I think ये जो आप बात कह रही हैं, these are genre films like thriller and horror and things like that. And there have been fair amount of films that have done really well and have been quite successful both as films and as a business also of late. And now because of the streaming networks, you have it has widened the horizons. So it has more reach also. So and it's really empowering filmmakers also to tell different kinds of stories. So definitely, I don't completely agree with you saying that it doesn't have. I think वो actually उल्टा आजकल romantic film में इतनी नहीं चल रही है.
People usually go to these OTT platforms to search something that is
कुछ तो है सच ही. I think it started with maybe watching American films or like European films or maybe Asian films and saying like, oh, they are making such different things, and that influenced an entire generation. Like I think directors who are my age, who came to the industry, I think they were influenced by a completely different set of filmmakers, and they brought that influence, and some of them rooted that influence in India. And then you see filmmakers like now Rishabh Shetty, who's making his own kind of Kantara and all those things. It's very rooted, but then it's also not really love stories. You know, they're all thrillers, and they're quite dark in their subject matter as well. And people are appreciating that, and they are aligning with it, and they are identifying themselves with those characters and those kind of stories.
It's more realistic, I would say. People are connecting themselves.
People want different also, यार. It's like it's a आपको नहीं चाहिए क्या, मतलब एक ही खाना रोज रोज खाएंगे तो कब तक चलेगा, है ना? थोड़ा वैरायटी चाहिए. Yeah.
So do you miss theatre now that you?
Not really that much. I really have too much fun. I like acting, and I think, I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful to theatre. I have learned so much from being on stage, being a theatre practitioner. So theatre is my teacher and cinema is my lover. So that's the difference. थिएटर गुरु है, लेकिन हम इश्क करते हैं सिनेमा से.
But that's nice. You actually have a lot of fun acting, and that's basically something that you do.
It has to be fun, like even if I'm doing like a heavy duty crying scene or something like that, I don't know how I'm going to explain this, but it's fun. It's fun to sort of crack a scene and then make it work. It's fun. Yeah.
So what kind of roles do you find the most difficult to do? Like, do you have something like that?
Where I have to beat women. I think I find it really difficult. I think I find that the hardest. I've turned down a few roles where my characters were required to sort of have some kind of violence, like physical or sexual violence towards women. I find that difficult. I may have done some of the roles like that, but then I've not really done an out and out, like really, like, who's really mean to women and beat them. Never say never. If it makes sense for me to do something like that, I will do it. But this is something that I find it difficult, and I also find another genre difficult to be in is horror. Like, because I don't like horror films. I don't enjoy them. So I kind of, maybe it's a mental block also, so I tend to sort of block out. Every time I get a horror script, I'm like, I don't know if this is working for me.
But you watch horror movies?
Not at all.
No?
No, not at all.
So you're not just...
I've done one though, because it was Divakar Banerjee, and the script was so good, and it was part of an anthology called Ghost Stories. So, and I'm very proud of it, because I did something which was extremely difficult, which required me to be in full body prosthetics, and the script was great, and he's probably the best filmmaker that we have. Like, there are some other filmmakers who are way more successful than him, but I think overall as a storyteller and as a director, like he when he gives directions also, it's like so precise, and in his script also, I don't want to change a word that he's written, and so he's so good. So I enjoyed that way, and I did something really difficult that I'm really proud of.
So can we know what more are we going to see you in the coming future?
हर चैनल में एक आएगा मेरा कुछ ना कुछ, हर स्टूडियो, हर जगह, सबके साथ काम कर रहा हूँ मैं, सबके साथ.
So nothing that's coming nearby, or something that we should be excited about?
Well, I'm currently filming a feature, and I've completed like 2 features before this, and there are 2 OTT shows which both have announced. Amazon has announced The Hard, and Netflix has announced Guns and Gulabs, and they're like my just polar opposites in terms of sensibilities, because Ruchika Oberoi and Reema Kakti are making The Hard, and then Rajan DK are making, and the kind of characters that I'm playing, they're really like they're worlds apart from each other. So, and it's fun. Like there's a lot of variety in terms of kind of content that I'm part of, and the characters that I'm playing also.
We're really excited to see both of them.
And there's a film that I had completed with Tapsi, so I think that will come out sometime.
That has also been announced.
Blur, yeah.
Right.
They have not announced as in like there's no date or something like that, but it's definitely like ready, and so they should find some time to release it at some point.
We wish you all the best for all
Thank
your
you.
upcoming future movies, series, and everything. And I must say, we had a really amazing time having you here with
Yeah, it was fun, like doing some Bharati uncle stuff.
Yeah, they'll surely have a look at it once we release
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And the BTS, I must say, the BTS has done really well. And
BTS
there's
is
a
that
lot of
Korean brand, no?
madness.
BTS is that Korean band, no?
Yeah, there is this.
They're really popular. Yeah.
And true. So we have some real madness going on the BTS videos
Thank you,
as
thank you,
well.
thank you.
But thanks a lot for coming here and having.
And embarrassing myself, yes.
No, I won't say that. But the experience overall was really nice for us and the whole team. I must
Of
say.
course, if I am there, the experience will be nice only. Like, what else? What do you expect?
Thank you so much.
I'm the
We
best.
really
I'm
loved
the
it.
absolute best. There's nobody better than me.
Gulshan is
Even
the
I am better
best.
than myself.
Gulshan is the best. He's better than himself. I'm
Yeah, absolutely. I compete with myself. There's
That's
no competition.
great.
बाकी सब
आपको कट करना पता
अभी बकवास तो मैं
चलता है.
I'm a चुत्तेगिरी एक्सपर्ट. If you just keep it rolling ना मैं करता रहूँगा. चालू रहे मुंह चालू रहेगा.
इसमें इसको ऐड कर देना.
नहीं मैं इसको